And what is going on? This is John from Cinema Saturday, and today I have a review for Inside Out 2. This movie follows Riley and her emotions, but this time Riley is going through puberty, and there are a bunch of new emotions that are introduced when she goes through puberty, and so now Riley and her previous emotions are learning to deal with her new emotions as she's going through puberty in this movie. It all takes place during a kind of weekend hockey teen fun camp. And so, as she's navigating through that, she has to do it with her emotions and the new ones that she is, just now trying to learn how to process. And of course, hijinks ensue. Now, I did watch the first Inside Out movie. I would say, though, I haven't really seen it recently. I did not go back and watch Inside Out, the first one, before I saw Inside Out 2. I feel like I pretty much knew the gist of the story. I know that it's colorful and that underneath its childlike appearance is some psychological subtext that we could all try to take away from the movie. And the second movie is pretty much a lot of the same. The emotions have to learn how to, really figure out how to use the emotion they are to benefit Riley. And sometimes it's a little harder. I think the biggest emotion that is coming out of this new movie is anxiety, something that I struggle with, and I know a lot of other people do as well. And I think the way anxiety is depicted in this movie is fine. I think it was more accurate sometimes than all the time, but it's there. There's also embarrassment. There's a really chill one who's kind of like a bluish color, like a bluish purplish. I forgot who they were. So let's see. There's anxiety. There's embarrassment. There's jealousy. Jealousy is in here as well. And then there's that blue one who's just really chill. I think they're all cool. I think they're all good emotions to add into the playing field. I feel like anxiety was the only one that really got enough screen time for us to really figure out how this affects Riley in the real world. I think the chill one as well had some screen time, but embarrassment wasn't really affecting Riley that much, even though they had, something to do in the movie. But I would say really jealousy was the only one that didn't really have too much going on. It's kind of like in the last movie how envy didn't really have too much going on, but in here it's kind of like jealousy. Speaking of envy, the other group of characters, so we kind of like split off for a little bit. We have Joy, who partners with anger and envy and fear, and they go off on an adventure, and they kind of leave sadness behind to do like a secret mission. But I think in this movie, I'm glad that all of those other emotions got some equal screen time. They got to be a part of the adventure as well, instead of staying up in Riley's head in the control center, if you will. So that was good. That was good. The animation is always on point. It's Pixar. They don't miss ever. So that was good. There were a couple of action sequences here. My favorite would be the brainstorm, but really there wasn't too much action in this movie. It was just all right. We were going along. I think the pacing was okay. I never felt like the movie slowed down, but I always did feel like we were waiting for that big reveal, that big, I want to say twist, the big thing in this Inside Out movie the big metaphor in this Inside Out movie that was going to make you think, oh, is that what my mind is doing when I am in these certain situations? For me, that never happened. I never felt that situation pop up and then my mind go, oh, is that what's happening? Maybe one singular moment at the end, but I do think that kind of is more of a depending on the person and how they handle that situation. But it wasn't like, oh, when you do this, this is what your brain is doing. And I never saw too much correlation between that, outside of it being a kid's movie and more so, how we interpret that in the real world. Um, Comedy was all right. There were a couple jokes I laughed out loud in, but not a whole bunch. I think there are some surprise characters in the movie. One of them from looks like very inspired from a one of those Disney kids shows. One of them inspired from like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse or Dora the Explorer. So I think those were good characters. They were fun. They had me laughing. Um, but yeah, comedy was all right. The action was all right. The metaphors were okay. Not heavy-handed, but I guess could have been a little bit more heavy-handed. I could have taken some more, but maybe that's because I'm an adult and this movie is still marketed towards children. Like it is still a kids movie in and out. Even though Riley is a teenager still, they never go too far with what happens with being a teenager and all the other things, just more so the emotions in your mind. So if you're a parent and you're interested in taking your kids to this movie, you can breathe a sigh of relief that this is more like the first Inside Out and less like Turning Red, which I know is a bit controversial with their approach to the growing up story. There's not too much more I want to add to this review. To me, the movie was simply all right. It's a good kids movie. I think you could rewatch it maybe once or twice just to see if you can get a deeper meaning for some of the metaphorical situations that happen throughout the film. But as a entertaining value, I would not watch this again just solely to be entertained. I didn't have so much fun in the movie and experience so much cool action sequences, so many cool jokes that I'm like, oh yeah, throw that back on. With my Garfield review, I said that if you were hungover, you just weren't feeling well, that Garfield was a good comfort movie. And this one, I don't think it's a good comfort movie. This one is a movie that kind of wants you to sit and think and have a little bit of fun, but mostly, it's not a goofball type of movie. So I think if you like the original Inside Out, you will like Inside Out too. Yeah, those are my thoughts on Inside Out 2. Are you going to go see this movie? Did you see the first one and really enjoy it? Or are you maybe going to catch this one down on streaming? Are you not interested anymore? Riley's grown up. Either way, thank you for watching Cinema Saturday. My name is John. Have a good one.